accept it.
Huh?
Sure.
The heat or the
Okay.
camera?
Now, going back,
Yeah, which one?
since I said to you, you cannot prove the existence of an infinite universe. It actually contradicts the science of today, for the most part. Like the expanding universe model, it does contradict it. You can't say it doesn't. Because the expanding universe model, where we've been able to identify, let's say for example, that there's an expanding universe because of the redshift of the stars and whatnot, yeah? This indicates that there was a singular beginning. And that's the Big Bang Theory, isn't it?
I wouldn't go that far. It indicates that things are separating from one another at a quantifiable rate, but that doesn't necessarily prove the existence of a beginning or end. It just proves the evidence you can see before you, which is that there is that redshift and there is some separation. But to jump from that and say that proves the Big Bang Theory is a large leap, which I'm not comfortable making.
Well,
How can you go backwards in time?
No. Think of it this way. Let me put it like in a scientific example that I'm sure they teach the kids in school, yeah? I'm not saying that. But like
No, I understand, but they do teach the kids in school.
Yeah. So basically, you know when you have the balloon, or a balloon, and you blow a balloon. Now if you blow up a balloon, obviously all the edges of the balloon are touching each other in the first instance, yeah?
When the balloon is unfilled?
Yes.
No, not all of the edges. I'm sure there are some where they separate by a little bit.
Okay, I'm giving you,
For the sake of the example. Okay, sure. An infinitely contacting balloon.
Okay, fine. Now you blow up the balloon.
Yeah. It's very demonstrative. Yeah. Now you have a balloon.
Now you have a balloon. Now the balloon was expanding. Yeah? If you have an expanding balloon like that,
you're not making an argument from balloons to say the universe has to have had a Big Bang in order to be expanding, are you?
This is not my argument. This is how they did. This is how they explained to me when I was a boy in school in this country, my friend.
Yeah.
I mean, it's how my atheist science teacher explained to me in GCSE
But I mean, when you're young enough, they tell you the mummy and daddy hug, and that's how babies
you
are.
explained in the similar way. They explained. That's how they explain it. The Big Bang model and they explain it, the expanding universe.
I believe these things you have to explore. It's not time to say that.
Okay. Let's. I don't want us to get lost in group discussion.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Wow, that guy's popular. So you have the expanding balloon.
See, look,
yes, somebody blew his balloon.
Can I say something? Yeah. Sorry to say this, but some people they say that the Canadians don't have a sense of humor.
They're not correct. Maybe some of us, I don't know. But
You've heard this before, yeah? I'm sure.
I never heard that, but I live in the place, so I wouldn't know.
No. Some say that, but today I think you've given us evidence that we can put into our probability generator to.
Yeah, I would say I would give some evidence in favor of there being humor in Canada.
Yeah. Go. Tell me now.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying? Okay, no doubt here.
Sure. So
The Big
something
Bang
acted
model,
on the balloon to make it expand.
The balloon had a starting point. Yeah, it had a singular point. This is the Big Bang Theory. This is the Big Bang, and then it all expanded.
It's not the Big Bang Theory for this one reason. Big Bang Theory does not in any way mention or try to prove the existence of an external force acting on the beginning of the universe. The furthest that we've really gone is to say that there was an event in time. So in your example, there's you standing there blowing into a balloon. And also, there's something outside the balloon. There's the room that you're in. Now, neither one of those things is part of the Big Bang Theory. There is no externality to the universe, and there is no force acting on it.
No, there's no externality of the universe. It's not something you can say. It's something you can only be agnostic about.
Yeah, because we're inside the universe.
Thank you. Yeah. The whole thing about force, once again, it's only something we can be either agnostic or assured about. But you cannot.
How can you be assured about it?
Well, if you have, what I'm going to say right now, evidences or your probability reasoning suggests that, listen, going back to the fine tuning, that couldn't be that this finely tuned universe is a result of a random generation.
Why not?
Okay, tell me now. What's the probability of it being the case? Let me ask you a direct question. What is the probability, now that we've gotten rid of infinity, what is the probability that the universe could have come about out of a as finely tuned as it is in terms of physical constants, without the existence of an intelligence? Randomly. Tell me the answer.
I suppose it depends on your model a little bit, right? Because we could talk about one of two things. Like, what percentage of the universe is habitable? Or what is the probability that all of the component parts of the universe interacting could result in the conditions for life?
Max, we had this discussion before.
Yeah, I know.
So let's not go back, because we said already, so long as any part of the universe has life in it, then we can
accept that the whole thing is quote-unquote finely tuned for life.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, I have a little trouble with that language because, I mean, finely tuned, like a portion.
That's the language the atheists use.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. To answer your question in the way that you want me to.
No, not what you, just the way you
No,
want
okay. But also the truth. It's
Yes.
very small. It took an incredibly long time for the conditions for life to arise.
Would it be 1%?
And the reason it
or
took
less
so
than
long.
1%?
Oh, far less than 1.
Far less than 1%. So okay, now please, Max. Here is the crossroads. We're standing at the junction, Max.
All right,
okay?
here we are.
No, seriously. No, this is it. And for all the atheists that are watching this, please ponder. Okay? Please ponder. You started off by saying that your method of conceptualizing truth and false is a probabilistic method. I have just asked you, what is the possibility of the universe coming about randomly? Pardon?
Do you always need to review this much for your audience?
It's always good to. What is the probability that the universe came about randomly without an intelligence? And you said far less than 1%, which would suggest that.
May I ask you a question in return?
Yes, of course. Let me just finish that. Yes,
Right.
that would suggest that over 99, probably 0.9 recurring percent of the probability is in line with the idea that there's an intelligent force.
No.
1%.
Now tell me.
Massive logically, dude. You can't
No,
do
it's
that.
not opposite. Now tell me, hold on. Because the question I asked you, hold on, Max. The question I asked you is that if we're assuming there is no intelligence, what's the probability? And it's all random. You said less than 1%. So that would suggest that if there is an intelligence, that is 0. Whatever 1% or 99.9% the case. Do you get it? It makes perfect sense. Now tell me why it's a logical leap.
Yeah, so let me just add this. Even in statistics, when you draw out a tree diagram, so if something is 1%, the other bit has to be 99, and then it spreads out from that 5%, you work out that 199.
Good, nice contribution.
Okay.
What's that more?
Now, here's how I dismantle your theory. We are standing in the universe where the conditions for life arose. So there may be a probabilistic argument to be made that there might have been, an intelligent designer that created the conditions for life. Maybe. But we are standing in one in which they did evolve randomly.
So now you're talking about the anthropic principle, yeah?
Sure.
Okay, do you know, even, to be honest with you, yeah? Even Richard Dawkins, you can go online and you check Richard Dawkins, yeah? Actually, I'll take that back. Don't check him out, but check him out on this issue, yeah? Right, Richard Dawkins.
No, check all of his stuff out, it's good.
Richard Dawkins' anthropic principle, yeah? He himself, he's not in favor of a strong anthropic principle. He said that the idea that you can make the argument that you've just made here, philosophically, and he's not really a philosopher really, it's a weak one. Why? And this is the old-fashioned example, yeah? Of someone, let's say for example, a group of people, a group of police officers, they run after you because maybe you've been a bad guy in Canada or something like that, yeah? You're a serial killer and they put you up against a wall. And then they all shoot you like this with a gun. All of them are shooting at you, maybe at 1 feet distance. All of them are shooting at you, yeah? And then at the end of it, you close your eyes. And then you open your eyes, Max. And you look behind you, Max, and you realize that all the bullets literally were around the body, your body. And you say, look, man, you say, the reason why the bullets didn't hit me is because the bullets didn't hit me. And therefore, the fact that I'm here is proof that the bullets didn't hit me. This is the example of a cyclical argument. It's so weak that even your main, I'm not saying yours, but atheistic proponents don't even make this argument. It's so weak that you should literally put it into the philosophical dustbin. You know the philosophical dustbin. You open up, say, listen, man, this argument, throw it back, chuck it in there.
Yeah.
That's a failure
I guess.
an idea. That's one of the failures. You can't throw, still you have to question it more. You can't throw one and to favor one. That's a dogma.
I want your answer for this. Thank you for that contribution. Yes.
My answer to what? Whether or not we should throw out the argument that
we're using probability.
Okay.
We are using probability.
Right. So
you've used the anthropic principle. We put it into the dustbin.
Just a second ago, you said that I could ask you a question in return.
Of course, Max.
Alright. So in an evidence-based fashion, what is the probability that this universe has been created by something external to it? And how can you possibly know that as someone from within the universe? Because as you acknowledged yourself earlier on, if you're inside the universe, you can have no knowledge of anything outside of it. So how is it you presume knowledge? There is an intelligent creator.
Say the question. Make the question clear.
So you, yeah, sorry.
Because these are two questions. Let me just make this.
You stated that as a being existing inside the universe, yes, you can have no knowledge of anything outside.
No knowledge.
No, you did. Yeah, because I talked about how you know, if you're inside the balloon, you can't know about the room, right?
Yeah.
You agree. If we're inside the universe, we can't know about anything outside.
You can have limited knowledge using empiricism.
So I understand your probabilistic argument for the...
In fact, can I just make one clarification?
All right.
You can have limited knowledge using empiricism because we're not able to perform the scientific method outside the universe because we're just simply not there. But I would maintain that using logical methods of deduction, induction, abduction, you can come to conclusions about that which is outside of the universe. Just to be clear. Go ahead.
I don't know that I fully accept that, but anyways. Why not?
Proper answer.
Because we're within the universe, right? So
yeah, so what? What does that show? What does that mean? Who cares?
So we can theorize about things outside of it, but coming to conclusions about things outside of it is a bit presumptuous, don't you think?
No. I think that based on the evidences of what's inside, you can make conclusions and deductions about that which must be outside.
Okay. Well, I'll admit this. I haven't eaten since breakfast, and I did make a mistake there. I allowed you to trap me in the probabilistic argument, so kudos for that. But I will now ask you my question. What evidence do you have to support the existence of your God that doesn't come from a tome, something written down by other human beings? What evidence do you have?
I have not spoken about any book.
I know. But you have a belief system that comes from somewhere, and I can fairly confidently assert that you didn't just generate it yourself. Would that be fair to say?
I would say, listen.
Because if so, you're committing to being part of a belief system that no one else here is.
Listen, I'm just saying, you told me here now, something about book or something, yeah? I've not mentioned one religion, nor Christianity or Islam or Judaism.
Yeah, just the probability of intelligent design, right? That's where you're driving.
I'm just talking about some physical realities. Okay?
Yeah.
So I don't know why you've made that point, that red herring, but that straw man argument. And as you've mentioned before,
not a straw man.
What's a straw man? You know what a straw man is? Okay, a straw man is when you cannot. Okay, you've admitted. Sorry to put you in the spot like this, but you've admitted that I trapped you in the probabilistic argument. Yeah. But why should it be a trap? Why don't you just accept the conclusions that we've reached?
I guess so. Here's something that I did say, and it is on the record. So you have to check if you like.
Go on, Max.
I said that in reality, my belief system is based on two things: probability and evidence.
Sorry. So if I answer this question?
Yeah, I do actually.
This guy's
no, I'm alright.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, Max.
Well, it's alright, man. But if you want to do this and put me in front of your cameras, then you got to stay on message.
You're right. No, yeah, you're right.
So, probability and evidence, right? So you're right that it is incredibly unlikely that the conditions for life would arise, and yet they seem to. And you can make an argument that that might be seen as evidence for the possibility of an external force acting, right?
That's what I've just done.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah. But let me ask you this then.
Yes, sir.
You believe in some force that has acted externally on our universe to create life, do you?
Some force?
Yeah, a force.
That is what?
You believe in a force that acted external from us onto our universe to create life, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, you do. Okay, so do you think that force is sort of an ethereal, all-encompassing force, or is it more specific? Does it have more concern with, say, the inhabitants of Earth and the inhabitants of other planets?
Well, these issues to do with my philosophical preferences have nothing to do with the existence or non-existence of the force. So if you're saying, do I believe in the force, we have to presuppose the existence of the force. So before we talk about what I believe the force's interaction...
It's not necessarily true. I mean, I could believe in something that concretely doesn't exist.
Max, one thing at a time. If you are happy to continue assuming that there is a force, then I'll continue telling you about the qualities of the force and the logical reason why these qualities must exist within the force. But if you don't accept the force, then it's talking about something which does not exist.
Yeah.
So here, my question to you is, based on the evidences that we've looked at, based on mathematical models and probability theory and all these different things that we've talked about today, based on your own standards of truth, will you now accept that it's more probable than not that there was an intelligence behind the creation of the universe?
No, I don't think that I would. No, I don't think that I would.
Okay, now
there's a model where you could look at the universe as basically like a sandbox full of marbles, right? Like one of those things you can kind of shake and agitate the marbles. And from what we know about the combinations of chemicals that can form into molecules from component atoms, or even smaller down to like quarks and those sorts of things, right? They're really ultra tiny components of the physical world. Random interaction in a theoretically infinite, but even if it's not infinite, a very vast universe, will produce chemical reactions just by atoms colliding over time, right? Do you accept that? So yeah, sorry, those guys are loud. do you accept that in even a very large universe, let's put infinity aside for a second because that seems to be a contentious issue. But
when you talk about, are you talking about time? Large in terms of quantifiable space or time, or both, or what?
Let's say both. Both are necessary for this model.
Because we do live in a very big universe.
Yeah, so let's say it's just very big and not infinite, just for the sake of fun.
Okay.
And that it contains a very large number of component parts, right? And they all interact randomly. And so over time, many meaningless interactions occur, the kind that just turn into a little bit of heat or a little bit of light, or just don't do anything at all. Two atoms collide and they go boink because they're not chemically compatible, right? But over time, some of them will combine into more complex molecules. Now, those molecules will fly around randomly, and again, the great majority of those collisions are going to result in nothing. But some of them will result in something, and through that increasing complexity over time, you could arrive at the necessary conditions for life without an intelligent external force acting on the universe.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Can I just say, you've actually inserted a law by doing, what you said, when they combine and some of them react. How do you know this is light? How do you know this is heat? How do you know when they combine? You've actually inserted laws. So what you're trying to do is...
No, I can answer that. So the laws that I've inserted into my argument are ones that are based on the body of scientific research that we've done so far. So like I said earlier, I cannot tell you with 100% certainty that when you apply ink to a letter and press it into this page, it's going to make a letter. It's very likely, and it's a reliable business. I would have no problem starting up a printing press tomorrow making books, because I'm pretty damn certain that every time I try to make a book, I'm going to come up with a book. But it is possible that every once in a while it's going to explode. And I can't tell you with 100% certainty that it's not. So those physical laws that I'm talking about are physical laws that are very well supported by all kinds of things. Like most of us have a smartphone in our pocket. Its operations are based on our understanding of the physical laws. Do they sometimes go wrong? Do we have battery fires? Yes, but most of the time the batteries just charge and release energy as they're designed to. So you're right, I did insert some physical laws, but they're very well supported. And by all means, if you can disprove gravity or the availability of carbon to bond of oxygen, then do it.
The only thing we really want to do is say that these laws are not random.
Where did the laws come from?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Question. Because where did the laws actually come from? Did the laws?
Where did the laws come from?
Yeah, where did those come from?
We don't have absolute knowledge of where they came from, but it's presumptuous.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Why nature?
Beyond the understanding.
Guys, if you want to debate, you have to do it off camera or later. Not that I don't want to hear what you have to say, I do.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Okay, so the laws are based on experimentation. Where did they come from? We don't know. But we don't know one way or the other. Like, both sides of this debate are in the dark as far as that's concerned. You can't say with certainty it was an intelligent designer. I can't say with certainty, and I want to be clear, it's very likely that wasn't the case, but I cannot say with 100% certainty. What?
Max. This. Max, no.
Alright.
No.
Maybe.
Let me tell you something. Philosophically.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Philosophically, there is nothing in the whole of philosophy which you can say is A, incorrigible completely, which means, you know what incorrigible means. Number two, that you could say could be said absolutely with certainty. Yeah, okay.
It's all based on likelihood.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is
now
why.
We're back to the probability.
This is why. Thank you.
Honestly, everything's probability.
Everything is probability. Now, that is why everything is faith. That's the thing is about atheists and agnostics.